Welcome back. It's coming up to 7:20. Millions of women are still facing discrimination and archaic attitudes at work during and after pregnancy.
Yes, in a survey published today, more than half of those questions said their bosses' attitude changed when they became pregnant. A
quarter of expectant and new mums felt actively discriminated against at work.
And nearly two-thirds would advise pregnant colleagues to delay telling their bosses that they're expecting.
Well, Rebecca Raven experienced discrimination firsthand. She won an employment tribunal after being sacked from her teaching job while pregnant.
I handed in my maternity notice at school. I was actually only 3 months pregnant at the time. Within 2 weeks of handing it in, I was given a letter terminating my contract. The school actually stated that they felt that maternity leave was actually enough to make businesses go bust. It did leave me in a very, very difficult position. Financially, mentally, physically, it was a very, very trying time. I actually ended up losing an awful lot of weight. My midwife was incredibly concerned about me. When you're supposed to be enjoying an amazing time of bringing this wonderful new life into the world, it's the last thing you need to add to your stress levels.
Well, we're now joined by Rachel Carr, who owns a hair and beauty salon and is a mum of one, and also a mum of three, Liz Fraser. So, Rachel, you own the salon. You must have people who, from time to time, have got pregnant and gone off on maternity leave. How do you approach it?
Well, I feel that as an employer, it is our social and moral responsibility to help the transition for women through pregnancy and then through motherhood.
Even though it's expensive and, in terms of rosters, pretty disruptive.
Absolutely, that's a dichotomy of it all, isn't it? From one side, that we really want to be encouraging and help our female staff achieve well at work and have the transition back into work a good one. But on the same token, there is that financial strain on all small businesses.
When you had your baby, were you working for someone else?
Yes, I was.
Ah, did they treat you well?
They were amazing, which is what's given our company some kind of insight into how to do it.
So it can be done, Liz?
It can be done, and I'm amazed to be sitting next to a small business owner, actually, who's saying what you're saying, because I'm about to say what a lot of small businesses and medium-sized businesses say, which is that we simply cannot afford to take on women. You see, what often happens is that young women who are recently married and have no children come on board and they join a company. And what do you know? Within 12 months, they become pregnant, and we are then absolutely rightly entitled to maternity leave and all kinds of things, which completely destroys a small business. And many small businesses go bust for exactly this reason. And so what I've always done in the past, and I've had 3 children...
So then do you perhaps not blame a small business thinking, they've just got married?
Well, you know what, you can't
It's not
blame
legal
them.
to do that, but...
It's not legal, and we need to be incredibly careful that the people are not discriminated against unfairly. But there's a difference between that and being treated in the way that's right for your situation, if you see what I mean. Look, if I wanted to be an astronaut and I wanted to go to the moon and I was 6 months pregnant, I would fully expect that they wouldn't give me that job because it just won't work. My situation wouldn't work for that job. That's entirely different to being discriminated against where you're on exactly the same level, you have full-time childcare, same qualifications, and they then discriminate against a mother as opposed to someone who isn't. And also, I would be very interested to hear about stay-at-home dads, because there are a lot of men who are not the main breadwinner who stay at home. Are they unfairly discriminated against at work?
Well, what do you propose? I mean, you can't stop women getting pregnant.
No, that's true.
And then employers have a legal duty, as you yourself have pointed out, to offer women this facility. What do you propose?
Well, I think that I think that small businesses need an enormous amount of government support so that they can afford to do what they need to be doing, which is what you're doing, which I think is so fantastic, to allow women to work. What we know is the best situation for children, for families, for women as well, for working women, is part-time work. We know that. There are millions of women out there right now with qualifications and brains who want to work.
Women want to work full-time when they've had their children.
Yeah, of course, some want to work full-time, and there's full-time childcare available for that. So then that's not a problem for the business.
Part-time isn't, if you're a small business, without its logistical problems to manage as well. Do you feel that it's cost... I mean, I know you really want to provide this good service for the women that work for you, but do you feel it's in a way cost you money?
Yes, of course, it's got to.
And you're prepared to just take that on the chin?
It's something that all
businesses would.
No, and we can't, and it's an impossibility to do it all the time. But I feel that that's where, just like Liz said, that the government is letting us down. You know, there needs to be appropriate legislation to protect small businesses like ourselves.
But one thing I would say, though, something that you read right at the beginning, somebody saying you have to keep it quiet in those early days of pregnancies and don't say, look, I've done that. We've all done that at a certain point, but I really come down quite hard on that now. And I went up for a job once. I remember it was going to be a big promotion, a really big job, and I was pregnant with my second child. And I thought, fair dues, I'd better let them know, because it's just not a job that actually suits.
Did you get it?
No, I didn't. And I'll never know why. No. But we have to be so careful about that for all other women's sake, because if we don't say, then all employers are very, very worried.
Absolutely.
It's a hard thing to do.
Good discussion. Thank you very much, Steve, for being here, both of you.